What's up guys, Tommy Bowyer here from Movie Rewind, and today we will be reviewing Doctor Sleep, a sequel to The Shining. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in terms of character development, I feel that this film focuses on two characters quite a lot, and that is the main character Danny and the little girl character. Now, I really like the friendship that these two share, and they get probably the most development out of all of the characters. The characters who get the least development are the villains. I think that they should have put more effort into the villains because they could have been really interesting. You know, a group of people who feed off The Shining and have to kill people in order to get it. I feel like if they had worked on that development and made them a little bit more threatening, then it would feel like the characters are in danger. However, these villains, because they're so underdeveloped, they don't pose a threat. So you don't really feel like the main characters are in danger. So in terms of character development, it's going to get a 6 out of 10 because I feel it could have been a lot better than it was. As for the performances, Ewan McGregor is probably the best actor in this film, and you can tell he's putting his all into this role, and he really does do well as this kind of damaged and conflicted character who's just trying to forget about his past experiences. And I do like his acting. He's a likeable actor and he does do well in the role. The chemistry that Ewan McGregor shares with the actor who plays the little girl, I felt was really good. You can really see that they shared natural chemistry, and the friendship I thought was the best part of the movie. Now, as for the villains, the actors who play them are good. However, as I've already said, because they don't get hardly any development, they don't really have a lot to do, so it's kind of a wasted potential. And that's the thing about the performances in this film. I feel that they are wasted potential because they've got such little to work with that they just can't do anything which gives a good performance. So performances are going to get a 5 out of 10 because, quite frankly, some really good actors in this. However, they just don't have a lot to do with. So in terms of the effects I can't really fault in this film because it's released in 2019, so you expect the effects to be good. However, they don't really leave as much of an impression as the original Shining did. The Shining is such a cult classic film, and the effects in that are so well done. And this film feels kind of like they're good effects, however they don't beat The Shining. However, the effects are going to get an 8 out of 10 because I can't really fault them, to be honest. Now, the story and writing is probably the letdowns of this film. Now, I have never read the book Doctor Sleep. However, I went with someone who is quite a good fan of Stephen King's, and they've read the book. And they said, while the book explains a lot of things, this film kind of skips over them or explains things after you've seen it happen. So you're kind of confused, and then they explain what's happening like 10 minutes after. And it's like, oh, I could have, you know, had that back then. The problem is, I think, that because Stephen King writes quite long books and quite complex books, it's hard to bring that to the big screen, and this film really does suffer because of that. There is a lot of points in this movie which don't really make sense. There's a lot of things where it just feels a bit too full. You're being just shoved loads of information. And especially at the start of the film, it kept changing the time frames as well as the locations. And that got a bit confusing because one minute you were here and then the next you were over there, and it just, loads of stuff was happening. It does calm down eventually. However, halfway through this film, it is so boring. This film is probably 20 minutes too long. In the end, you're kind of looking at your watch, and that's not a good movie. If you start looking at your watch, then the movie is really not doing well. It was too long. It shouldn't have been that long. There's quite a lot of stuff in this I feel that they could have taken out just to kind of trim it down. As I've said, just 20 minutes less probably would have made this film a little bit better. So in terms of the story and writing, I'm going to have to give a 4 out of 10 because, quite frankly, I was disappointed with it. Now, for this film's special recognition, I'm going to go on about the amount of jump scares in this film. Now, I know, jump scares have their place in horror films. Usually low-budget slasher films, jump scares exist. However, this film was really starting to piss me off with the level of jump scares, because all of a sudden, and you knew they were so predictable. A jump scare to be effective shouldn't be predictable. However, you know, there's loud music, then all of a sudden it all goes quiet. And then all of a sudden, ah! And then there's loud music, and it was just getting so annoying. I mean, one I could get by, maybe even 2 or 3. However, this film had at least 10 jump scares, and they were just getting so annoying in the end. You don't need jump scares to make a horror movie suspenseful. So the jump scares of this film were really pissing me off. They were taking me out of the film. So you know what? A 2 out of 10 for this special recognition, because I'm getting sick of the jump scares, and I think that this film, if they hadn't have had jump scares, it would have been a better film. So in conclusion, Doctor Sleep has a really poor story, too long, and is full of way too many jump scares. Despite a strong performance from Ewan McGregor, it does not save the film. The film gets a 33 out of 50, which gives it a grade 3 ranking. To be honest, this film was kind of a nothing really. It was okay. I came out of it thinking it was okay, because it's not the best film I've seen this year. It's not the worst. However, it's hardly even memorable really. So thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope that you enjoyed my Doctor Sleep movie review. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe in order to receive great and maybe even improved quality content in the future. And I will see you in another one. See ya!